All right, everyone. Welcome. It's Friday. It's another Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
And welcome to our little show. And if you've seen our marketing, you were expecting Sean Kirkpatric to be on today. We've had a little hiccup, so we're going to have to reschedule. So sorry.
Things
okay.
Happen. It is.
You know, if this was a recording, you wouldn't even know. But because it's totally live, there's nothing we can do about it. So sorry, you're just going to get me and Alan today and chuckle through our hour, and we'll have lots of fun. We've got a lot of good topics. So there you are.
Exactly. Hey, but Marshall, we were on time.
We're on time, right?
For the first time in 4 weeks.
Yeah, how about that? And I want to just let everybody know that I was almost right with my Super Bowl prediction. I did predict the Chiefs win, that Mahomes will come back and score, but I missed the I said to take the over, which didn't happen, and I said by 7, which didn't happen either, right? So of the 3 predictions, I got 1. So I was 33% correct.
Well, I was wrong. I actually, if you remember, I picked San Francisco to win. I thought they were, but I wanted Kansas City. It was a kind of a boring Super Bowl until that last quarter.
I didn't think it was boring. I'm a defensive guy. I like defense. You know, to me, that's exciting. I like that kind of chess game. And it wasn't boring. If you're just like, hey, no defense and lots of scores, and it's 83 to 86. That's not my type of game. That just means there's no defense, right?
Yeah, but I thought while there was defense and stuff, I just thought they weren't playing like they should.
They weren't executing. Yeah, I think there was a lot of, there's a lot of emotion tied up in there, and let's not even go about Travis Kelce like yelling at Andy Reid, that whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so let's just. Hey, Super Bowl's over. We only got about 180 or 90 days until football season, so I think we've got some the summer months.
Baseball spring training has started, so
yeah. Well, if you like baseball, that's good.
I do. I like baseball like you like football.
Yeah. So, all right. Hey, let's say hi to some folks. Our buddy Richard's here. He says this netcast is going to interfere with the Zydeco playlist down here in Cajun District of Wyandotte, Michigan, where we're still celebrating Mardi Gras. So hold on a minute. There's a Cajun District?
I didn't know that. I've been to Richard's house. He's right there on Biddle Avenue, right downtown.
Is he in the Cajun District?
I didn't know there was one.
Does Boudreaux and Thibodeau live next door to him? I mean,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, Richard, keep your shirt on. How many beads do you have? So.
Yeah. Is he earning those beads the right way?
I don't know. It's pretty cold still here in Michigan, so I don't know.
Right. And Ray says, "Greetings, Screenlings, like as usual."
Right.
Wouldn't that be a parish? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Parish. Use the correct term. Correct term.
Yep.
It's all the right words you use, right?
Absolutely. Look what Ray posted.
Yeah, of course. I throw beads at Richard all the time. Yeah. And Beth's here. Hey guys. Hey Beth. Hey, we're gonna have Beth on soon, and we're gonna be talking about some new ink. So that's
wait. That is gonna be an incredible show.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that at the end. Richard says his new office in New Orleans is when I'm playing the Zydeco. Okay.
Got it.
Great. So that means you picked up the accordion? I could see Richard playing the accordion. I bet he would be good at it.
I could see Richard playing an accordion. He'd be incredible.
Yeah.
In a harpsichord.
It would be black with flames on it to match his walking stick, right?
Absolutely. So.
All right. So anyway, welcome to our show. You made it. It's Friday. It's going to be a great weekend, I think. But if you're watching this, and you haven't said hello yet, please sign in and say hello. And then also, if you could do us a huge favor and share the show, that would be awesome. We're always trying to get new viewers, so that would really help us out. And And before we get into our GSG commercial, Alan, it looks like you're traveling somewhere. Where are you?
I just decided to redo my bedroom at the house to look like a Holiday Inn, and that's what no,
Hey, you did a good job.
Yeah, I am actually way far north. I am in Alpena, Michigan, which is one of the most northern parts of the Lower Peninsula you can get to. It's pretty cool here. It's pretty brisk.
So
right
you
now.
could throw a snowball and hit Canada. That's where you are.
Well, the lakes are too big, so you can't do that.
Okay, you could throw a snowball and hit a lake.
Yeah. I'm actually right on Lake Huron at the top. So,
Right.
of course, Michigan is like a hand. So if you like, I'm right here.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Pretty far north.
Great.
So, yeah. But you know what? The good part, Marshall, people wonder, you and I write things, Richard writes things and stuff. And sometimes when we do an article, we just never really know who reads that, especially if it's for a magazine and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I hear you. I wonder if anybody's ever listening all the time.
Well, when I first started writing, people would come up to me, someone would come up and said, I liked your article on that. And I go, oh, you're the other one who read it. They go, the other one? I go, well, my mom prints them off, puts them on the refrigerator. It's very weird. But yeah.
With your crayon drawing of a truck. Right?
Exactly. From when I was 5. But you know what? This is a client. He called Easy Way Blue Water on something. And and I followed up with him and found out he read about this in Screenprint magazine, an article I did. So on small market automation. So I'm going to go see him today. It's always fun doing that.
Right. Okay.
He was shocked. Let's say I called, but hey, it's my area. I said that's my job. So
let's say hey to some folks, and then let's get into the show. Right. So Charles is here. Happy Friday,
Mexico. Hey,
Richard, Spotify baby. Right.
Absolutely.
And don't forget Spotify. There's an excellent Shirt Lab soundtrack.
Yep.
If you haven't subscribed to that, please do. That we do a survey after every event, and I think we're almost up to like 90 hours of music now.
Yep, all kinds of
crazy. Yeah. Hi guys from Gateway. Good seeing you.
How you doing?
Hurley's here. Chris, hey, good morning, gents. Jim Barbosa's here. Hey guys.
Hey Jim, and I don't know Jim. Do you?
I think I do. It sounds familiar. So
Jim, tell us where you're from.
Yeah. Hi guys. Good seeing you. Ray's here. Oh man, up in the UP Chile.
I am actually not in the UP. I'm just below it. So.
Yeah. So Chris says put a snowball in one of those 3-man slingshots and it'll catch it on his end.
Well, I'm on the eastern side of Michigan and you're on the western side of Canada. So we need a bigger slingshot.
Yeah, well, that would be go back like 6 miles or something, right?
It would be. We would need it more than that. We'd have to have a satellite rocket. So
yeah. Okay. Well, hey, let's go ahead and run a little commercial. I'll get that dinged up here, and we'll be back with some good topics. Here we go.
Absolutely.
Over the last 70 years, GSG has seen many changes in the apparel decorating industry. But one thing that hasn't changed is our dedication to helping our customers discover what's next. As we continue to lead the industry, GSG is here to support your business with industry experts. The latest innovative products, training services, and by delivering the perfect order.
All right. And as always, thank you so much to GSG for sponsoring our show. We really appreciate you guys.
Yep.
All right, let's kick it off. Right. So Jim says, yeah, I've been to Shirt Lab since Realist. That's right. That's where I remember you.
Awesome. And I don't know where
that was only what, 2019. So that was 5 years ago. So
where's Swansea, Illinois at? I'm not even sure.
Well, we'll have to get the map out, right?
Yeah. Well, considering I cover Illinois, so yeah.
Yeah, Frank's here. He's excited to have it. He's a Texan.
Yes. From SNS, and always good to have Frank there. He'll be at Shirt Lab, always is.
Right. So let's do our.
We said Shirt Lab 3 times, so I'm going to put the plug in. Shirt Lab is going to be in Austin coming up. So
it is going to be in Austin, April 19th and 20th. It's all about automation. We're this close from getting our website finished. We've got one little thing left to do, and it's live. And hopefully, I'll do that today, right? So anyway, all right. So look for that when we finish. All right. So let's get into the show, right? So here's our first topic, right? I wish I would have planned it better.
Boy,
so
we all
what's the story with that, Mr. Howe?
Yeah, don't we all have that? I mean, and yes, I'm not talking just about my 401k that I wish I would have done better when I was younger. But you know what? First of all, let's say we've all thought that. I wish I would have done better. I wish I would have known then what I know now. Well, you know what? You can't. You make the best decisions with what you know at the time. But I think sometimes how this came up, I was at a shop. They just moved into a new building. They had built, they had set up and everything. And they are 5 days into it. And he's already going, I wish I would have had more room here. I wish I would have done this. And part of that is they have 3 automatics. And he says, I just wish we had more room around the presses. Well, to me, Marshall, and I didn't say it to him, and in the screen room, I wish we had more room to store screens. And to me, that is poor planning. Where, like you said, I know people when they're setting up where they have measurements, but they don't lay out their equipment.
Yeah.
You can do it. You said, hose, with hosing. Diameter.
I've laid out shops several times, right? And a real good trick is just to get a garden hose, right? Because you can make that into a circle and you have the right diameter, and then just move the hose on the empty floor around to, this is where it should be. And then you can test, can I get a dolly past here? Can I get a pallet jack with a pallet of shirts past here? Can I set up? Can I walk around? And that really kind of helps you think about it. And then mark it off with tape on the floor, right? Where's the dryer going to go? Shelving, whatever.
And that's what it is. It's not that the building is bad. It's just, I almost wanted to go, well, you idiot, you just didn't plan it better enough and do the devil is in the details. You
didn't use the word idiot, did you?
I did not. And actually my job at that point is not to tell them they're an idiot. My job is to what I call pet the sheep. It's okay. Look, here's the pot. You are way better than where you're at. You like that?
Pet the sheep. That's great.
You're a consultant, you're a shepherd and all that. And shepherds don't beat sheep, they pet the sheep. They protect the sheep.
So I have an uncle, and uncles are great because they're wise, right? At least some of them are, and mine certainly is. And my Uncle Bill, one of his things is, if you wish in one hand and crap in the other, which one fills up first? Right. Yeah. And that's so true about what we're doing, right? We wish things would work out. We wish, but without a plan and without putting action behind that plan, nothing ever happens.
100%. Right?
And so you can wish all you want. I wish I was a millionaire. I wish I had a Ferrari, right? But until you do the things to get those things, it's just not ever going to happen. Which is why I think a lot of people fall short in what they're doing. So really, goals are about setting things up and achieving them so you can hit that. So, in this case, wish you had planned it better for his production layout, but this could really be sales, hiring, training, whatever, right? Your financial status, 401k, like you mentioned earlier, whatever, right? It's not too late to start. What's the Chinese advert saying, right? Was the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today, right?
Correct.
Just do it.
Exactly. And you know what? Sometimes I don't want to say we overplan, but we over delay. Well, what about this? Things aren't perfect. And I'm the worst at that. And, did we say it last week? Marshall, I got yelled at by the one and only Marshall Atkinson. I was saying,
I don't ever yell at you.
But you and Richard never yell at me, but you do without yelling at me.
I don't yell. I don't yell much.
You know what?
I might talk to you sternly.
Exactly. And you know why that is? And not to throw biblical into it, but that's iron sharpening iron. How do you sharpen iron and sharpen a knife? Against the stone, something hard. And that's how you stay sharp, by having sharp people and hard people tell you the hard truths that sometimes we don't see.
Yeah.
And you got to have people in your life that way, because the other adage is, hey, search enough, talk to enough people, and eventually you'll find someone that'll tell you what you want to hear. And
well, some people surround themselves with people who only
100%,
say what they want to hear, right?
100%. And but you know what? That's dulling a blade. That's not sharpening it.
I think you need things in your life to challenge you. Yep. Right. And big, hairy, audacious goals like the BHAG, right? You guys, I'm sure you've heard of that before.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really important. And doing things that, for example, this show, like we didn't really ask permission. We just did it.
Yeah, exactly.
And what do we know about putting on a live telecast? Nothing. And we've been doing it for several years. What do we know about it? Nothing.
We were just happy we were on time today. You would think after 3 years on 100 and almost 200 shows, we'd have this down.
Our challenge is we log on about a half hour before the show starts, and then we start talking about stuff, and then we forget what time it is. That's usually our issue, right? So,
yeah.
All right, you got a call, Alan. Who is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, this is how you know it's a live show, right? This isn't recorded, right? All right, so we got some comments.
And this is because I'm in an area where even at the hotel, cell phone, the Wi-Fi is not good. So I'm using my...
let's see if you can mute all that. You got to mute. So,
yeah.
All right, so Jim says he's near St. Louis, about 15 minutes southeast. Okay, that's in Illinois, right? Over the border, over the Mississippi there. Ray says there is or was a standards list in the SPTF technical guidebook, and there are many industrial layout ergonomics guides out there. Great.
Yeah.
Shop layout. That's great. Hurley says, Alan, when I bought my press, you told me to tape it out on my floor. Some of the best advice I received when building my shop, and 8/8 would have been returned if I went with my gut.
Let me write that down. Alan did something correct.
Yeah. And then Ray says there's procrastination and procrastination. Always be a professional.
Yep, absolutely.
Also, Alan, this is about your car warranty. Please call immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ray's here. Hey, dudes. Good seeing you. Can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Yep. Glenn's here. Good day from all of Kansas City. I bet Glenn's in gloat mode right now.
Oh, I think him and Peter Walsh and everybody from
yeah. So
is there.
Okay, speaking of, I wish I would have planned it better. How about the fact that the 49ers didn't know the overtime rules?
Yeah, I mean, they
planning it better, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know what's going to happen if it goes to overtime in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What could happen?
But you know, it wasn't even that. Who was the guy that made that winning catch for KC? He didn't realize that was the winning touchdown either.
Yeah. Well, well, actually, I think he was so excited he blacked out. Didn't he say something about that?
He said he did, but they were saying later, because the rules, they said it's just like a new game. There's 2 quarters. They didn't really explain it.
Yeah. Well, they assume that these people would know, right? And
exactly.
I don't know, right? So anyway, so I wish I would have planned it better.
Well, you know what?
Hey, by the way, just so you know, that strikes me. That strikes Alan. We could plan things better, and we wish we did things better. This happens all the time to us. So don't feel guilty if you're struck by the I wish I would have planned it better lightning strike, right?
Yep.
Chalk it up to learning.
You know what? And this, I go back to surround yourself with people who know more than you, or I used to call it, I had a circle of accountability.
Yeah. Your board of directors.
Yep. What's that?
Your personal board of directors.
Yep. Tell me what I'm missing. What am I not seeing?
Yeah.
And we all have that.
Yeah. Right.
But so you're not in a new building going, gosh, I wish I had more room around my press. And while I'm sitting there going, it's okay, you got more room than you used to have. In my mind, I'm thinking, McFly, you had 10 months,
Hello.
McFly, yeah. But I don't say that to clients.
Yeah, I wish I would have planned it better. Like this, think about your marketing right now. I mean, like one of the things I advise people is this month we prepare the marketing for next month. So when next month happens, you've already got all the stuff done and it's already scheduled and it just launches.
Yep.
So that's just planning and talking about things, So all right. So Ray says, important rule, always buy the largest screen size your press can use. I can always print small on a big screen, but you can't print big on a small screen.
Always buy the biggest dryer you can do, because I don't care what kind of press you have, your dryer will slow it down.
Yeah, right. Daryl says, Chiefs haven't had an offensive lineman call in the last 3 Super Bowls they played in either. You mean a penalty?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about, right? So, yeah. Okay. Although I think didn't they have one guy, their tackle or something, was the most penalized offensive lineman in the NFL? Is that the same team I'm remembering?
Might have been.
Yeah. Holding. Number 65, Daryl Garcia.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love what Ray says on this big screen. I remember I had an account that his screen size, he had automatics and stuff, were 28-38.
Oh, that's good. 38. That's gigantic.
You know what? Collar to the end.
Yeah. Oh, he did a lot of oversized stuff?
Well, they did some, but they had one screen, no matter what, left chest, 28-38. Yeah. Everything was standardized, and that was not a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I love it.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, remember what the next one was without looking?
Well, no, not without looking. Plus, we switched order. So.
It's get out of your own way. I could do that to you one day, but I'm not, because I'm a nice guy. So get out of your own way, and I think a lot of times people in this industry, they just make it harder for themselves than it needs to be, right? 100%. We overthink things. We don't do things. We wait till the perfect moment.
Yep.
To do something, right? There is no such thing as perfect. Just do it. Just birth the baby. Let's go. We'll make the changes later, right? Just do it, right? Let's go. So get out of your own way. And especially in sales, I think one of the biggest problems people have in sales is in your brain, they won't like it. They won't buy from me. I'm too high priced, or they'll never go for that. And they invent the scenario in their brain that prevents them from actually talking with people.
Yep. It's reality. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's for someone who's in sales, no matter how long I've been doing this, it's an everyday fight.
Yeah.
and I have to remember, what is my goal? One extra piece of information. If I can find a pain point, is it, I buy this quantity from this person and I always think I won't be able to compete. But you know what? They don't always have it in stock. I'm always put on hold. Right there it is. So now how big of a value is that, what they're getting?
Yeah, right.
So find out where the pain points are.
So how do you get out of your own way, Alan? Like, what do you do?
I don't know that I have, Marshall. So let's face it, 37 years, I'm still my worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know what? You try to. I'm trying to think. You know what? Getting out of your own way when you're in sales, when you work from home, when the companies you work for is over, you are pretty much your own company. And it took me a while to figure that out. That even though I'm paid by Easy Way and everything, I am paid to manage an area, work with my dealers, work with the clients, and manage. And sometimes that's all day on the phone. Sometimes that is all day on the road. Sometimes it is that. And it is planning. It's not just you wake up and go, well, I wonder what I'm going to do today. No, you need to know what you're going to do today. You need to be able to move and adapt when things happen. This trip that I'm on now, I happen to be in Michigan. I didn't have a lot going on at the end of the week. You know what? I know what I need to do. Even though I decided to go to northern Michigan in the first snowstorm in 29 days, that's just Michigan driving. We do it.
You get to change on the tires?
No, I've never done the change. It tears up the roads and the tires. I know farther north, like up here, they put snow tires on, then they switch to spring, to regular tires. But I've never done it. I just have good tires and a four-wheel drive.
So getting out of your own way, I think sometimes, again, this is where your network can tell you, hey, you need to rethink this.
Yep, exactly.
And so I think that's a good thing. I think these two topics kind of dovetail together a little bit.
100%. And it's not always in sales where people are going, well, I'm on the road all the time. Well, are you just driving around burning gas to make you feel like you're busy, or do you have this planned out?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Who am I going to hit? And then in between, who are the cold calls I'm going to make? Can
you make one more sales call today?
Absolutely. Yep.
We'll squeeze it in. Can we get one more done?
And it's even easier now because the best part for me traveling is I have a phone, I have hands-free on my car, and I am making what we used to call no pay time in between drives. Windshield time was no pay time. Now can be some of the most profitable. That's when your calls are coming in. You can take that phone call while driving. You can make that call. I mean, Marshall, how many times have you and I talked and I'm on the road driving?
I think almost all the time.
All the time. I am actually more, I don't want to say profitable, but that's work to me on there. When I'm at home in my office, on Fridays, I'm usually there, but that's where I have to go to my list. What do I do? What is my checklist? What is going on? What needs?
You have your checklist, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You got to have your checklist, or you're going to crash into an ocean. So make sure you have your checklist. We miss Allie Banholzer. We need to have her on again. But but you got to have your checklist, and that's what's going on. So it's a different way of working from where I'm at. Trade shows are completely different. I'm still a guy. I like to set appointments there so I don't miss people at the booth, especially important ones and stuff. There's always going to be the people just stop by, and that's great. But if I can say, hey, can we meet at around this time? Yeah, that'd be great. Let's go. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Yeah, Long Beach, I had a list of 57 people I wanted to talk to at that show, and I saw 37 of them.
Yep.
And so there's about 20 I didn't get to. And it's not because they didn't try, it's because they were like busy doing stuff, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
like you give it a couple attempts, and you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'll just phone the dude next week, right? And
yep, exactly. And then there's
so how important is it to use a calendar?
very.
Like I schedule everything on a like if you know me, I'm like very methodical. You're on my calendar, right?
I did not know that about you. Way more than I am. Marshall is a guy who lives and dies by his calendar, his phone schedule and stuff. He knows Marshall, you know what you're doing every 15 minutes.
Yes.
Usually.
I have open time too, by the way. I mean, it's not all scheduled. I have open time. I've got, time between calls. Like, so I use an app called Calendly, and it automatically puts 15 minutes in between all the calls. And then I also have time that's blocked off so I can write, or it's just blocked off for just, hey, leave me alone time, whatever. And I think that really helps out because, I want to be able to do things, but I don't want to work till 10 o'clock at night, so,
right.
And I know how I work best. Like I like writing in the morning. So when I'm doing content creation, it's usually in the morning. I know
when you were writing ebooks and stuff, you would get up, you had time you got up, and first thing in the morning, that's when your right time was.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's good. And so to me, that helps me get out of my own way, right? Because I can just look and I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing right now on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, whatever, next week. Exactly. I know what I'm exactly doing. Right.
Yep.
And then, I have a VA, right? And her week is also planned out the same way, where I know what she's doing every day of the week. I let her decide on what order, but she's got deadlines of stuff that she has to do.
Yep. And with my VA, I just started, and she has just started and putting together the customer list for me. I've had it just all random, and right now there's not a deadline on it, and we're seeing how this works and everything, but it worked good. I paid her for the first time on what she did. She kept track of hours. We have that there. And so far I'm like, all right, this could be exciting.
Did you start using Clockify?
I haven't. I was going to do that, but she already had an Excel spreadsheet of when she started, when she did, and all that, which I loved. And you know what? I told her she was apologizing because she didn't get the stuff on there. Well, I knew she this is someone I know. She's a mom. She's a wife. She has another job too. Yeah. And this is just some extra supplement and stuff. That's all I need. I can't say it's 8 hours a day yet.
Yeah. So in your shop, right, here's a really great exercise for you to do right now. I want you to walk up to anybody, it doesn't matter who, and ask them this question. Hey, Alan, what are you doing next?
Yep.
Do they know the answer to that right off the top of their head?
And for me, I might be going, mine is a might. Today I've got to figure that out because
but
I might be going to Indiana with a dealer, but I got to make sure. I think there's a Blue Water install, and I'm confirming that with the installer. And if it's that, I got to go to Ohio for that.
Yeah. So, but what I'm talking about is on the production floor, the job they're going to run, or the thing they got to ship, or what they got to purchase, or the art they got to create, or whatever. Right. So what are they doing next? Do they know what that is? And if they don't know what that is, how can they find out without asking you? Right. And I think, one of the big problems we have in this industry is what I call the mother may I syndrome, which is everything has to run through somebody, and nobody can do anything without so-and-so's permission. Yep. And if that's you, the owner, where everybody has to ask you, hey, does this look good? Or, hey, what am I doing next? What's the job you want me to run after this one? How come they don't know the answers to these questions?
Yeah. And we're not talking about artwork approval or anything like that. We're talking about what job do you want me to run next? When they don't know ahead of time.
Well, it could be art.
If they don't know ahead of time, that means shirts aren't pulled, ink's not mixed, screens aren't done.
Yeah, well, it could be artwork approval, right? So why are you the owner approving artwork? Why doesn't you got somebody else for that, right? And So it's really just about, when they say, hey, does this look good? What, you don't know?
Yep.
You don't know? What do you think? Is it registered? No. Okay. Well, then it's not right. Why are you showing me this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Does it match the Pantone color? Is that 186 red? I don't know. I'm like, do you know how to match it? Right. So, I think a lot of times we make it harder for ourselves than it needs to be because we haven't really trained people to help us,
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. So we're at the bottom of the hour. So, I forgot to share. So let's go ahead and talk about the GSG Pulse, right?
Yep.
And so that's right here. Of course, this is where you can go and you can find all types of really great things. It lives in that you just click this banner right up here, and then you can see the Pulse magazine, and it's chock full of all types of really great stuff. And again, we thank GSG for sponsoring our show. You can buy equipment, you can buy supplies, you can get all types of things. They've got QR codes with ideas and downloads and all types of stuff, right? So we'd love for you guys to check that out, and that's at gogsg.com. So
you know what? Mark Soldonic had a video, and he mentioned the Pulse, which, they've been away for a while, this product, and it was the starter kits for the Rio mixing system.
Right.
Just because of, things after COVID and supply chain, they just were not available. He said they are back and in stock. And what a great way to take control of your color matching than with a mixing system. And man, it comes with quarts of ink, a gallon of mixing white, and so look into that in the Pulse and at GSG.
Yeah, cool. All right, our next topic is getting paid. Customers who don't pay you are not good customers. I was talking with somebody a day or two ago, right? And they are telling me that they have some customers that are like 120 days net.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you running your business like that? I mean, it's like you're their bank and you're loaning them money and like all this stuff, right? So, I'm a big advocate for getting paid up front. However, there are some clients I realize that that's really difficult and near impossible to do. So one of the things you might think about is having some pricing tiers based on when you're actually receiving the money.
Right.
So maybe if you're pay up front or maybe net 10, here's the most cost-effective pricing. But if you're going to be 120 out, they got to pay the VIG, right? They got to pay the interest on that. And because in the meantime, you've had to pay all of your utilities and your ink and your people and everything that you do, right? And so that should be reflective in that pricing, right? And so my question for you guys is, are you struggling getting paid from your customers, right? Are you getting paid 100% up front? Is it net 30? Is it 50-50? Do you have people, what's your AR report like, right? Do you have a lot of accounts receivables right now? Just kind of want to throw that out there. I understand it's kind of a touchy subject if you don't want to publicly talk about it, right? I totally get it. But, this is something I think you should give serious consideration because cash is king and cash flow is the number one reason why shops go out of business all the time.
100%.
They're super busy. What happened to them? Nobody paid them.
We can't be out of business.
Out of money.
We're too busy. Yeah.
Yeah. You're too busy, not making money. And in the meantime, you're throwing money out to all your vendors and suppliers. And what happens is you start, okay, I can't pay this guy. I'm gonna have to pay that guy, whatever. And eventually you get cut off.
Yep.
Right. And as a supplier, shops that have been cut off, right? I mean, because they didn't pay.
We actually have a cutoff date. A lot of our suppliers are net 30. We have a few, like I have one that, man, he pays credit card as the order's placed. Done. He said, I just don't want the, to ever be put on hold. But if you're ever over your net on there, we'll stop shipment.
Yeah.
And so, I had a client, a dealer call me and said, hey, it was on a big order to a brand new account. It was probably a total of 9 drums.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, do you know when that's shipping? I said, well, let me check. And I sent an email in, here's their PO number. And it came back. Yeah, it's been held. Company's on credit hold.
Right.
So I tell the guy, I said, look, I don't know how much, but here's it is.
So
said,
I've worked for shops that had customers that owe us money and they get put on credit hold. And so because you don't want one of the I know you've heard that adage before, if you ever find yourself in a hole, quit digging, right? So you don't want to just keep adding to the amount of money somebody owes you. So you got to have a cutoff, and then they have to pay up, right? So the adage here, customers that don't pay you are not good customers is completely true. So, and this is an ad agency. This is a school district. This is a some type of lifestyle brand or whatever, and there's people out there, organizations, companies, whatever, who are notorious for being late payers, but they order a lot of stuff and we all think that they're good customers. They're not a good customer if they don't pay you.
Yep. Because those big customers are going to want a bigger, piece of the pie. They're going to want better pricing. And the negotiation tool is, for the amount you order, we can do that. But what offsets that is you have a history of not paying, till 120 days.
Yeah.
So not going to happen. Oh, no, we'll pay you on time. Yeah. Lies.
Yeah. Right.
If you could.
And these days you can have ACH payment. They can throw it right there in your account. Also, one of the strategies is to talk about how that company, like, hey, do you guys order from Amazon? Have you ever bought a plane ticket? Yeah. Well, how did that happen if everybody has to pay 120 days out, right?
Yep.
We want to get on the list just like Amazon and Delta Airlines, right? We want to get on that list where you pay them up front for stuff. How does that happen? How do we do that, right? So that's a conversation that you can have with them to get paid up front, because we know they already pay people up front.
Yep.
Right? They're just not paying you up front, right?
Yep,
so exactly. How do we get that to happen, right? Was there a form? Who do we got to talk to? We want to be on that list.
Well,
right?
And I hear from dealers all the time. They're going, yeah, we want to pay, but we can't because we're not getting paid. Well, that's
not our problem.
Yeah, not my problem. I understand your problem, but not my problem. But it is. When I deal with those people, I want to say, I know the people, and Marshall, we see it all the time on, why I hate Facebook forums, because these people that are, spouting all kinds of crap, what you and I can't put is, we know your shop. You're a filthy shop. You're a bad printer. And how are you in business? And oh my God, pay your bill. I can't say crap like that. So,
yeah. Well, here's the thing is, your customer has a Visa card. They've got American Express. They've got maybe a PayPal account with some money in it, right? They can pay you, right? And they can pay Visa whenever they want.
Well, that's
right. And then and so have that, whatever interest you have on your credit cards, for the charge, just that should be included in the cost of doing business anyway. Right. 100%. And then when they pay Visa, right? When they pay with a Visa card, you're going to pay Visa your 3.5% or whatever your fee is, right? And then now you've got the money,
Yep.
That's just the better way to doing it is just, hey, you can pay Visa whenever you want, but we need the money now.
My one dealer who he'll order stuff and he just puts it on a credit card right away. And he says, you know what? First of all, it keeps bookkeeping easy for me. He goes, yeah, I have the credit card payment built in. He goes, and now I'm getting another 30 days and I'm getting points that he uses and stuff. So, okay, fine. He goes, and I pay it off every month. Yeah. So done. And that's the key.
Okay. So let's catch up on some comments.
Absolutely.
So Ray says, Alan and I rarely ever speak unless we're both driving.
Exactly.
And Glenn says, I've always believed in a strong CRM, tells me where my activities should be focused. Exactly. 100%. Hey, Glenn, what do you use? What software do you use? Curious. Ray says, oh, man, I have money built into Net 30 Silence to cover all the credit card interest that will happen on my travel expenses. If they go net 90 or 120, I quote expenses up front and are higher built-in interest. Good thinking. Greg's here. Hey, Greg.
Mr. Kitson. Always good.
First thing I looked at with consulting clients was their receivables. Many had over 50% of their annual gross sales tied up in potentially uncollectible invoices.
Yep, not good.
That just makes me want to throw up just thinking about it.
Yep, that hurts me.
And they were being bankers when they thought they were decorated apparel professionals, and terrible bankers at that.
Exactly. Yeah,
I always got paid up front. Sorry, Alan, what?
I don't know about you guys, but my bank does not let me go 120 days without making my mortgage. They will take.
I don't know about you guys, but all of my bills are just deducted from my bank account. I personally haven't written a check, and I'll bet you close to 10 years.
Yeah, I write maybe.
I don't write checks. I don't. You know, to be honest about it, we don't even own checks. We don't have a checkbook.
I have it because when I had the rental house in Indiana, if I paid by credit card and ACH, it was actually more. I'm like, yeah, I'm just writing a check. I'll send it in. Stuff like that, which is stupid.
Well, they have you can do your pay your bills with your checking account, and it sends a check for you to the thing. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And
I'm not writing a check,
But yeah.
Anyway. All right. So where are we? We got 15 minutes left, just in time for the last topic.
Well, Marshall, I got one thing. On the CRM, I agree with Glenn. CRM systems are powerful and stuff, but I also want to make sure people do not confuse a CRM with an Excel spreadsheet. So I have some, Excel spreadsheets can be a database, but they're not a real CRM to tell you what you need to be doing. The information in Excel is already what's happened.
Yeah, right.
So,
to me, you can have a CRM, but it's useless unless you use it. Hello.
I have put it on.
Why?
I have put it on mute 1,000 times, and I don't know who this person is calling it. So
they really want to talk to you, Alan.
Yeah.
Again, the reason we're hearing that is because Alan's in a hotel room, and the Wi-Fi at the hotel is horrible. So
yeah, it is. It's
he's
awful.
using his hotspot on his phone. All right. So last topic here is you must be present to win. I say this I bet I say this daily.
1,000. Yeah.
You got to show up, man. You got to show up with your clients. You got to show up at trade shows. You got to show up to your family. The only way you're going to win in life is to be there and be present and do stuff. What's a deadbeat dad? As an absentee father, right? So if you think about, are you that way with your customers? Are you that way with your employees? Are you that way with your family? You gotta be present to win, man.
Yep. 100%.
So think about that. What do you think about that, Alan?
Well, you have to. And I love what you said about families, because I'm actually talking with a dealer about he's going to be hiring in that branch their first salesperson. It looks like the guy they're hiring, I've known him. He sent me the offer and goes, and I'm not going to say who, he goes, hey, what do you think of this? And him and I had some very long discussions about what it is to be in sales. He's been a great printer. I'm not going to say who it is, because there's people on here that know him very well, but he wants to go into sales, on the supplier side and manufacturing. He's an award-winning printer, but I said, okay, everything out the window. I said, you're not going to be able to teach everybody like you want to. You think you will. I said, your job is not to do that. Your job is to take the order and get the order. Yeah. I said, you're going to see the worst printers in the world, and you're going to say, I can help you do better, and they're not going to care. They're going to order from someone. Take the order. Right. So You have to be, but other thing we talked about, I said, there are dangers of being on the road. And I have seen, and you know what, guys like Greg and Glenn and Ray and Richard and you, we've all known people where they are good, successful salespeople, but they have lost their family or they have ruined their life because you're in a hotel room and you're at the bar every night and all of a sudden you have a problem. Or I'm working for my family, so I'm working this hard. Your wife will leave you. And she will not.
Let me introduce you to the importance of a Zoom call.
100%. You know, even when you're on the road, you can be bedtime stories with your kids, but it still doesn't replace being there.
Right.
And you know what? You lose your family, you lose, that part of your life, and you have failed. I don't care how much money you make.
Yeah.
So you have to be present to win. Now, let's bring this to the sales part.
Yeah.
You can be the best marketer in the world, but if you are not have a relationship with a client and be present with them, you're going to lose.
Well, I can tell you so many shops, so many people have had clients, they're a huge chunk of their business, and the guy retires or gets sick and has to quit or moves on to another company. And then the next person they get doesn't know your company at all. And now all that years of experience is out the window because 100%. The people in that company don't know you, right? You haven't been to their office. You haven't brought them donuts or Taco Bell, or, you didn't take them to lunch, or you didn't hand deliver the thing, or you're not there to help them. And it's just, everything's a PO. It's just a transactional order. They don't know who you are. To me, you have to get in front of people. Long-term business in this industry is driven by personal experiences, personal relationships. Doesn't mean that you got to get on a plane, although that sometimes is necessary. I would do it with a video call. I do video calls all the time. I probably 8 to 10 video calls a day, right? All I do is I'm in front of this camera all day, right? And let me tell you, it's relationships is what drive things. And you can be doing that with your customers. It's not that difficult. There's technology. I think a lot of people now are used to doing virtual stuff. Wasn't that way before COVID. COVID changed everything. And now we live on a video teleconference call or a Zoom call or a conference call. I sometimes have calls with, there's 10 people on the call, right? And I'm managing that, right? And it's difficult, but you learn how to do it. And the only way to do it is to do things, right? So get a decent webcam, get a decent microphone, get some good lighting. You can have the blurry background if you want, or just make sure everything's clean behind you, whatever.
Holiday Inn in Alpena, Michigan background. Yeah.
Well, I know that's a fake Zoom thing. You're not actually there. We know you're vacationing in Florida right now. We totally get it. You're trying to pull one over on us, Alan, with the
why I'm wearing a
Holiday Inn background.
Why I'm wearing a jacket in the hotel room.
It's because the AC in the hotel room was turned down to 60.
Exactly.
We know all the tricks.
And a bathing suit on.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's just my thoughts on that, right?
Well, and what does our friend Richard Grief say? Everybody has a camera right here. Everybody.
I think it's a movie studio.
It's a movie studio. Yeah. And you know what? I had more people, and I do it still. When can you be at my shop? Well, I don't know. What's going on? Well, show me. Well, how? You have a phone? Okay, bam. Just take the phone out, hold it, and show me what they're doing. And just stand there and, show me the reclaiming process. All right, here's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not burning gas. You're not burning flight time. You're not burning this.
Yeah. Show me the picture of the hygrometer in your screen room.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got one. Okay, show me the picture of it. What is it? Where is that?
Where do we know where that is? Yeah. my screens aren't reclaiming. Send me a picture. Okay. And
I've had people send me videos of their printing, and I'm like, or their shop, and I'm like, what is that over there? What is that over there in the corner? What is that thing?
I am famous for seeing pictures and figuring out who their supplier is because of what's in the background. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm seeing Wolflex ink. I'm seeing Sprayway. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this. I know where they're at. It's probably this person, this person, this person.
Right. Yeah.
On there. So, you see a lot. I'm having staining. Are you using a screen opener? No, I'm not. How come I see that in this picture? They are using it.
Yeah, right.
Hey, on a good note, because you know how much I love screen opener.
Wait. You've got a problem with screen opener?
It is the vein of a textile existence.
I've never heard that before from you.
Yeah. Sprayway is doing away with all their actually screen print.
Oh, really? Why?
Because they own Cami too, and there has some of the same stuff, and they're just doing away with it. So no more Sprayway 957. There's still a Cami 481, but one of them is gone. I did a small happy dance.
Well, you're halfway there.
Yep. And you know what? I found this out when I was working with a dealer, and so we did a couple of demos of 842 on press wash, and the guy was amazed. He goes, "Oh my gosh, that's so much better, faster, and cheaper." Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. All right. So we got some comments.
But you have to be present to win. You have to be present with your customers. You got to be present with your family.
Yeah. So Glenn says, I've used them all, currently being self-employed. He built his own using MS, Microsoft Access. He loves Salesforce, but it's pricey.
It's outrageously.
Ray says, I've not written a check in 8 years. Most banks would love to get rid of physical checks. 90% of all the information needed to steal your identity is on the check.
Yep.
Glenn says, they're on credit hold. Craig says, key man business model is just failure waiting to happen. Exactly. Yep. All right. So winding up here, we only got a couple minutes. So let me get this teed up here. So must be present to win. If you are going to be present in Atlantic City, there's 2 classes that maybe you should be taking. They're both on Thursday, March the 21st. The first one is Alan's class, Intro into Auto Reclaim. And of course, I don't know why they have all this stuff's always jacked up when we look at it, but it's just how it looks, right? So, but this is a really great class. I sat through this class in Long Beach, and it's really great. Alan gives a very balanced view. He's not harping on one company or another. It's just about how to really do it. I suggest if you're not into auto reclaim, this is something that you should really be looking at. How'd I do advertising your class, Alan? Is that okay?
You read it script word for word. Thank you. And you know what, Marshall? I mean, you were in there. You and Ellie Banholzer were in there, which, in the front row, which that doesn't make me nervous at all. But you know what? I also think too, even if you think you're too small, I do have parts in there where let's talk about small market automation.
Yeah.
That there are options. And it's all about knowing the options, whether you're thinking about this or going, is it something I need to do now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now? So
right.
It's all about the information. So thank you.
Right. And then also right after that is, guess who? My class.
There it is.
Mid-Journey Power User class. So Alan's ends at 10:15. At 10:45, it's my class. And we're talking about Mid-Journey power using class. This is like how to get a lot of stuff done quickly using AI imaging, specifically with Mid-Journey. And I walk you through how to do it, right? And so if you're not using Mid-Journey yet, you might be slightly lost, but I kind of give you the details, right? But if you are using the tool, you're really going to learn a lot because you're going to understand a little more. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to know Mid-Journey to be in the class. This is really going to kind of show you what's up and how to do it. And I also want to throw out there, if you're going to be at the DTF Expo here in Phoenix at the end of this month, I'm teaching a class on the 24th, which is the Saturday. So come to that class, and I'm going to show you how to use Midjourney to create DTF transfers really, really incredibly quickly. So these are both really great classes. So must be present to win. You're not going to get this information if you're not in the class, right? So this is why you need to show up. So,
again, it's about, you got to be present to win. It's about seeing the new stuff. It's about networking. It's about the education.
Right. So Richard says, following Greg Kitson, stuck to principle of single point of failure. Exactly.
Yep. Absolutely. Greg, we miss you very much.
Yeah.
So you have taught us all. So, but I saw the video. Greg's doing great. He was doing some boxing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he posted that on Facebook. So keep it up, Greg.
Do not mess with GK. So
yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching, guys. We're out of time. So I appreciate you. We'll see you next week, where we're going to have Beth and Ray with Aviant on, and we're going to be talking about
some incredible stuff.
The new the bio ink. Yeah. And it's bioplastisol. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Beth is the product manager for the ink. And Ray, of course, knows everything about ink. So we're going to have a lot of fun talking with them about it. And so stay tuned for that. And then look for, we're going to have Sean Kirkpatric rescheduled. We had a little hiccup today, and we'll get that straightened out. And it'll probably be sometime in March. But we'll get that. There you go. Revived. Thank you, Beth. I didn't have it in front of me. So appreciate you. And also for Alan for clicking the button there.
Well, I'm just a co-pilot. So usually he handles the controls, but I know how he looks and stuff. I saw that. We need to put that up. So
yeah. So all right, everyone. So have a fantastic weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for putting up with my hotspot and my phone going on. Everything is on silent. It's coming in through my computer.
Yeah, so, this is why we're not a recorded show.
Absolutely. So,
we have no safety net. We just go, right. So,
Marshall, how's the attendance looking for DTF Expo? I think a lot of people are going.
I think a lot of people are going. Of course, Adrian hasn't given me a head count, so I have no clue. But I'm planning on going there. So if you're there next Friday, as soon as our show ends, I'm getting in the car and driving over, right? So I'll be there right after lunch next Friday. So
I talked to a client in Michigan this week. I was at their shop in Metro Detroit, and they said, "I think I'm gonna go fly out to Phoenix to that." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was talking with Zach Nita with RB Digital in Canada. He's flying down for the show.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
There's a lot of people flying in from all over.
Yep.
I think it's because it's just the inaugural one and everybody's all curious and crazy.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. So,
all right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend, and thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys.
Have a great week. Thank you again, GSG. Look for them at gogsg.com.
Yep. See ya.